And we're back. Welcome to another episode of Marketing, Successful Marketing, Sales and Relationships for Adult Business Owners and Entrepreneurs, hosted by me, your host, best-selling author Sadon Long. And we are in the middle of our 7-step to seven figures playbook. And we are now, we're almost to the end. We are on step number 6. So thank you very much for tuning in once again. And let's do a real quick recap of the other steps, just in case you missed the previous 5. And if you missed them, go back and watch the videos because there's some really great information out there that's going to help you turn your business into a self-scaling sales machine in less than 7 weeks. It'll help you turn free social media into cold hard cash, make more bucks without boosting ads. And again, like I said, it won't take very long and it won't take very much work. So, again, number one, get attention. Obviously, you have to stop the scroll. So, what you have to do is you have to figure out a way to stop people in their tracks, make them read your post, make them watch your video, make them look at your billboard, make them look at your flyer. And typically, the way you do that is by answering questions that you know they have. Okay. Especially when you start talking about blogging or podcasting or doing videos or any of those things, you want to stop them in their tracks. You know, what is something that they have a question about that you can answer? Okay. And we talked about how to get the answers to those questions and also how to find the questions that you need the answers to. Now, what you want to do is you want to use SEO, which is search engine optimization. You can use things like SemiRush, who aren't currently sending me a check and they need to. So you can use things like SemiRush. You can go and you can Google your particular industry and see what the number one questions are on Google. You can also go to Google Trends and type in the words and then see what's trending about your particular industry on that particular day. And then you can create videos about it and you can create content about it and you could talk about it. And people who are interested in it will then pay attention. Now, of those people who you really want to talk to are the people who really want and really need it. So again, you want to try to cater first to people who have an urgent need and then work your way back. And as far as you really want to work back is to people who really want it, really need it, but aren't sure. So those are the people that you want to get the attention of. And then the next one is you want to get them to opt in. We talked about list building and what list building does. Now, list building does 3 things. Number one, it gets you closer to a sale. So at the end of the day, if somebody gives you information, no different if a woman or a man gives you their phone number, it gets you closer to a date. So same thing here, it gets you closer to a sale. It also helps you protect yourself from poverty because if sales are slow, and if you are someone who watches me on Facebook or follows me on Facebook, or you look at any of my TikToks or shorts, you'll see that having a list is important because now when sales are slow, you can just pick up the phone, send an email, send a text, and say, "Hey, did you ever get the thing that you were trying to get done? Are you still interested in getting that thing done?" So if I didn't have a list, then I wouldn't be able to circle back around to it. So again, if times are slow, I can run a sale, I can run a special, I can send out a text, an email, and simply say, "Hey, did you get the thing done that you're trying to get done?" Which will now give me an opportunity of those people who we talked about who weren't really sure, but really needed it, an opportunity for those people to work with us. And also that we needed to understand that some of those people, they had things happen in their life. And because those things happen in their life, maybe they disappeared for a little while, or maybe you weren't top of mind. So because you weren't top of mind and things in their life happened, it might not have a thing to do with you. So don't be afraid to do it. Just do it. And then the third thing that having a list of leads, a list of people who like, trust, and love you allows you to do is it allows you to make mistakes. It allows you to start over. It allows you to come back. So let's just say, your building burned down or your truck broke down or you lost all your equipment because someone stole it. If you have the list of people who did business with you, when you get new stuff or you have a new product, you have something new to introduce, you can then go back to that list and say, "Hey, we're back. new and improved, you know, now fresher, bigger, faster, stronger, whatever it is, you can go back to that list and say, hey, yeah, they stole the truck, but we got a new one now. Yeah, we were sick, we were down for a while. I wasn't able to shoot any videos, but I'm back now. And I got something new that's going to help you reach your ideal outcome. That's going to help you get there faster. It's going to be easier, with less stress. You know, and the likelihood of it working is significantly higher than what the last thing was. So it gives you a chance to make a mistake and come back. Okay. Now the third thing is, hey man, you got to get them to buy. A lot of times, we do really great videos and we never ask for a sale. If you're watching Gary Vee says left, 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 right, or jab, 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 right. So his system is simply that, hey, I'm gonna give you three pieces of content. On that third one, I'm gonna ask, so that I don't come off as salesy, so that I don't come off as somebody who doesn't care about you. So I'm gonna give you free information, I'm gonna give you free solutions, I'm gonna give you free tips to build trust and to get your opt-in information so that then when I do have something to sell you, guess what? You already know and like me and trust me, and you've already seen social proof or proof of concept because you've been trying and doing all the free stuff that I gave you. You know, so again, it works in every industry. You know, if you sell lawnmowers and you give people tips on how to have green grass, when you have a lawnmower sale, guess what? Those people who've been watching your tips on how to have greener grass are now going to buy the lawnmower. And they're going to buy the lawnmower that you say is the best lawnmower for their grass. So again, it gives you trust and credibility, but you have to ask at some point for the sale. At some point you have to say, "Hey, I'm looking for some reciprocity." You know, no different than a woman and a man who continue to talk and text message, but nobody ever asked the other person to go out on a date. Eventually, it just dies. So again, that's number three. You got to ask. And and in the process of doing your jab, 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 right? You can do little soft closes. Little soft closes are, oh, by the way, you know, oh, by the way, if you are looking for someone to come out and landscape your yard, just give us a call at 219-333-444-555. It doesn't sound salesy. It puts the ball in the customer's court. But if that customer is really ready and they really need it and they really want it, they're not waiting for you to give them a sale 10 months away. They're saying, hey, I'll do it today. Just show me how. Click the link below, call the number, pull up, click the coupon code, scan the QR, whatever that is. But at some point, you have to have something to sell because people are watching you with the idea that at some point you're going to help them. At some point, you're going to have a live event. At some point, you're going to have a concert. You know, I use Russ. Russ is a great example. Obviously, Russ's dad is a record exec. So for somebody comes and says, "Well, Russ's dad is a record exec," but anyway, the guy put up tons and tons of music on SoundCloud every week. And it works on the principle volume versus luck. The more volume you put out, the more likely you are to get lucky. So again, guy put out songs every week, but then he started doing live shows. But because he put out so many songs and some of those songs people actually liked, then he was starting to show up in cities and do live shows with little to no promotion because he had a list and he was communicating with his list and he was telling the people where he was going to be. So now you got a guy showing up in LA, getting 35,000 people to show up or 3,500 people or whatever the number is to show up with little to no outside promotion. No billboards, no bought ads, no paid ads, no payola to the radio, just simply him and his audience having a communication saying, hey, here's where I'm going to be. Click the link below, get your ticket, and I'm going to do all these songs that you guys like. Same thing as a pop up. You've been watching me make these meals on video. You've been watching me make them on TikTok. You've been watching me do it. Now come pull up in person and taste and see how great it is. I think the girl's Kimmy on Instagram. I think that's her name, Kimmy. So I imagine at some point Kimmy's doing stuff live because I'm starting to see her out and about um, doing press and promo. So I'm pretty sure at some point she's doing something live that people can pull up on, or she's opening up something at some point people can actually partake of. So again, that's number three. At some point, you got to actually ask for a sale. Okay. Number four. Number four. Okay. Number four is you got to get them to stay. You know I want you to stay. Oh baby. Yes, you actually have to get them to stay. So the reason you got to get them to stay is because customers are hard to get. You know, so again, you have to keep your customers engaged. You have to keep your customers on board. Because if they start getting off board, there's a chance somebody else will get your customer and keep them. During COVID, I talked about building a moat around your customers. Making sure that you are supplying all of their needs, making sure that they were getting all their information from you. And you'll hear me talk about the cat and the milk. You got to be the milk because that cat is going to keep coming back to wherever they got that milk from. So if you are the one giving them the information, telling them what's going on in their industry, telling them what the new things are, telling them what to look for going forward in the form of either videos, a newsletter, a mailer, whatever you do, you know, you have Facebook Lives. You have to continue to keep them abreast of what's going on. You know, hey, inflation is going to lead to unemployment over the next 6 or 7 months. Here's how that's going to affect our business, which was literally an email that I sent out for a client. You know, Unemployment's going to go up. Here's how you take advantage of it. Here's how you protect yourself from it. You know, all of a sudden, when you started seeing things um, change in regard to work from home. Hey, the new trend's going to be work from home. Here's what you need to buy to make sure that you can effectively take advantage of the opportunity to make money in your house. What webcam to buy, what mic to buy, what platforms to use. So now when your customers have those questions, you're giving them the answer. And they're only looking at you, which means they're not looking at anybody else. Pepsi doesn't need to get new customers. They just need their old customers to keep buying Pepsi. Simple as that. And the cool thing about it, which is what we'll get to today, is that their old customers will keep introducing the product to new customers, which will give them new customers, which means that they don't really have to run Super Bowl ads. They choose to, but they don't have to. They could survive from here on out just simply with their customers doing what their customers do. Because nobody has to remind them to buy a Pepsi. They're going to go right into the store and get one. So, yeah, got to get them to stay. And then number five, you got to get them to buy again. Buy again. Get another sale. What's better than one sale? Two. So now you have to start anticipating what the next step in their journey is. Because in the beginning, it was about getting that thing started. Now going forward, it becomes about how do I maintain it? How do I not lose it? How do I keep the ball moving, growing? You talk about starting a business, then you talk about scaling a business. Then you talk about making the business easier to run. So you have to anticipate what that next need is. You have to anticipate what that particular skill is that they may need. Sometimes it may be leadership. So you teach them how to start a business. Then you teach them once they get a team how to make their team more effective. So what is the next thing? It is the enhancement of whatever they need to learn or know that's going to get them closer to their ideal outcome. So, and then another thing you can do is you can offer VIP. You can offer more convenience. So the convenience component of it is simply, hey, I know how busy this has made you. Here's some systems that are going to make it easier for you. I know how busy you are because this is something that takes a lot of time and energy. Here's something else that'll make it easier, faster, simpler, less stressful. We talked about catering because I think we did it on, yeah, we did it on Female Business Friday. So we talked about catering and we talked about restaurants and how if you opened up early and you had coffee and donuts and then you added a soup, so you can now get that same person to come in on their way to work, grab their coffee, grab their muffin, and then get their pint of soup or chili or whatever during the wintertime to down take to work. So now not only do you have them for breakfast in the form of, hey, call in, let us know what you order in advance, and we'll have it ready for you VIP plan. We also now have you getting your soup. And then we can create something on the back end that allows them to pick up their dinner on their way home. So now we got three sales instead of one. And it's all based around convenience. And it's all based around the fact that we know you want hot meals and we know that you're busy. So the better you know the people within your market, the people you serve, the better your business becomes. So with that being said, now that I think that gets that got us up to 5. So today we are talking about number 6. And number 6 is simply about you got to get them to promote. You got to get them to promote. You got to get them to demand. 6 and 7 go together, promoting and demanding. And we're going to talk about the testimonial today. Okay. The testimonial can either make you or break you. Okay. If you know what to do to get great testimonials, man, it'll attract customers. One of the things I talk about all the time is turning your students into stars, turning your clients into stars, promoting your clients. And the reason you want to do that is because there's someone who's in that I'm not really sure, but I really know I need it and really want it category. That if they see someone who is similar to them, who had similar questions to them, who had similar concerns to them, actually getting the thing that they want, it makes them want to do it too. It is the FOMO or fear of missing out that is kicked in. You know, for example, I talked about people who do the pop-ups. I'm sorry, pop-ups, and how people who do pop-ups, if you have a pickup line, the people who are in general population are going to then look at the people in the pickup line and say, "How do I get in that line?" They know something I don't know. They're getting a benefit I'm not getting. You know, no different than when you're at a concert and then you see people just walking right in. You're like, well, how do I get in the walk right in line? How do I get in the pre-check in line? How do I get in the I don't have to wait line? Because people want the thing that they don't have, especially if it's something that makes them seem better than everyone else. I'm more important. I'm VIP. I'm more important. I get special benefits. Well, you get those special benefits too, but us regulars, we got our own little section, we got our own little glasses, we got our own whatever. So now people say, well, how can I become a regular? What do I have to do? Now, again, it is the testimony of the people who are enjoying and benefiting from it that makes you able to do that. So again, testimonies can make you or break you. So here's what you want to do to have an effective testimony and turn your student into a star. Simply, you want to show the transformation. And transformation about is about taking certain steps. The first step and the first question needs to be, so what were you doing before this? Because now we want to start with where did our heroes start at? You know, what were they doing before this? Next question. I hope you're writing these down, by the way. The next question is, so at what point did you know you needed to make a change or that you needed to get the help that your company offers? So now you are discussing the trigger point. What were you doing before? And at what point did you know that you needed to make a change? You know, you can then follow up, well, why did you think you need to make a change? Or what was going on that made you want to make a change? Okay. So we want to get those trigger points, both for the testimonial and also as a form of research for our company. So we kind of get a better idea of what people are going through so that we know better where to start our conversation. Because we could literally start our conversation at the point where are you tired of? You know, are you fed up with? Because we've talked to enough of our customers to know that's usually the point when they need us. Have you tried a bunch of other platforms and got tired of your lives freezing? Tired of not being able to post on multiple platforms. And now you start to know what the problem is. But you also realize that other people have that same problem. So now you kind of know what the trigger point is. So then the next thing is, so what attracted you to us? Now that's a differentiator. Now you're looking at it and you're saying, okay, what made us stand out, stick out to you? Okay. So now you can start Again, doing research and saying, hey, okay, cool. This is what our customers are saying is the thing that got them. Was it a video? Was it an ad? Was it a post? You know, what drew people to us? Because sometimes what you think is drawing people and what really draws people are two different things. So now we know where they started. We know what was going on that made them want to change. Then we know what made them choose us. So now another great question is, so what was the thing that made you finally decide to pull the trigger and join the group or buy the product? We know what drew you to us, but what was the thing that took it over the edge for you? Which is extremely important because there are tons of people who you are going to do business with who are in the very same position, which is, I know I really want it, I know I really need it, but I'm not sure. So what was the thing that made you sure? And now the people who are watching are like, yeah, what was the thing that made you sure? Oh, oh, cool. Now you just got some more sales. That quick, that easy. So with that being said, now the next question you want to ask is, at what point did you know it was working? Okay. At what point did you know it was working? At what point did you know whatever the thing is I sell was doing its job? You know. So at what point did you know that this was a good idea? Even if it's the restaurant business, it's like at what point, oh, when the food came and I could see the look on my wife's face. When they brought out that bottle of champagne or when they brought out those sparklers or when they came around and started singing happy birthday or when she saw the private room that we went in, that's when I knew, oh, yeah, this was it. This the one. Yeah, this gonna be a good night. So no matter what you do, it's the same thing. You know, when did you know it was working? Well, when I started going to work and people just really started complimenting me on how great my skin looked. You know, when did you know it was working? Oh, when I started putting on my suits and my suits were all too big. Or I started jumping into jeans that used to be too tight and I used to have to jump into them. And now I don't anymore. So when did you know? Okay. And then the follow-up question is, well, how long was that? So now you got okay. How long did it take? So now people sitting at home, they got their popcorn out now. They're like, ooh, 3 weeks. Oh my God, 3 weeks? Oh, it don't took you 3 weeks, girl. So in 3 weeks, you went from jumping in them jeans to just being able to button them. Oh my God. Oh, I'd love to have that. So now, where do we go from here? Because we need to stay on this track, man. Be clear. You need to stay on this track. So now it's working. Now we know how long it took to work. So now the next question is, what are you able to do now that you weren't able to do before? Yeah. So now we're starting to talk about benefits. So when you go out, how's it different? Before I wasn't able to get in these jeans. Before I wasn't able to walk confidently into work. Before I wasn't able to get the kind of response that I'm getting now. I would take my wife out to dinner and she'd always be like, that's nice. But it's my birthday and you never pick right. Now, I'm the house hero. She loved me. She bragged to all her friends about me. She said he took me to Shay wherever. And ooh, girl, we had a wonderful time. So with that being said, now you are able to do something that you weren't able to do before. Leap tall buildings in a single bound. You know, run at the speed of light. So you want to continue to stay on this track because we're talking about going from not being able to do something to now being able to do it. So the next question you want to say, well, was it hard? You know, I mean, were there some difficult things about it? And don't be afraid because either side of that is good for you. A, it was easy, it was fast, it was simple, it was great, it was easy to understand. Boom, goes great. Or B, well, there was some really difficult times. Okay. And then you just follow up the difficult times. So when did it start to get easier? Simple as that. So now we're talking about when did it start to get easier? Again, when did you know it was working? What are you able to do now that you weren't able to do before? So you stay on that track. So then the next question is, so if you had to give some advice to someone who was thinking about doing what you did, what would that advice be? Golden. Sale time. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. What would that advice be? Because now they're about to give you a whole commercial about the thing that you really need customers to know, which is, hey, if you're in the same situation I was and you're scared and you're not sure if this is going to work, I fully 100% recommend that you do it because it's worth it. So now that testimony looks a whole lot different than, yeah, go check out my girl over here on 100 and da 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 da. Yeah, we out here supporting my homie. He got a car wash. You know, that testimonial does you no good because ultimately, really, what it does is it highlights the person who is giving the testimonial and not the business. You know, over here supporting my girl sounds like I'm a big shot and a boss, and I'm giving my time, attention, and energy to something that's really not worth my time, attention, and energy because I'm calling it support. You support things that are falling down. You support things that don't have a strong foundation. We are supporting this charity because this charity needs our support. As a business, you don't need support because your business stands on its own. You're not supporting Nike when you buy Air Jordans. No, you're buying Air Jordans because you want the value of having a pair of Air Jordans on your feet, not because you need to support Nike. Nike don't need your money. You know, Yeah. You're not supporting BMW. You're not supporting your favorite liquor. You're purchasing because there's a benefit. You know, Pappy Van Winkle, Blanton's, Jack Daniels, they'll all be fine without you. But if you say I'm supporting my girl, then it implies that she's not going to be fine without your support. Can I get an amen? Or maybe not. But anyway, that's what you need to think about as the business owner, not the friend, not the partner, not the homegirl, as the business owner. Again, you have bills, you have kids, you have parents, you have spouses. You need this business to work. So we need to get as much out of a testimonial as possible. And just out here supporting my girl is not enough to get you the type of business that you need to build a self-scaling sales machine. So again, we went through the steps. I need you to write them down. I need you to go back and play this again until you get it. Now, if I was to give you an example, it probably looks something like this. Well, what was I doing before this? Well, before this, I kept, working these jobs, and at some point they would come to an end. I was really frustrated because I've been fired more than once. I've been downsized. I've been laid off, and I just was really tired of putting my future in the hands of other people. Okay, that's what I was doing before. So when did you know that it was time to do something different? Well, I knew it was time to do something different when I was watching television one night and I saw, and low key, I'll give Brendan Bouchard credit for this. He's like, man, anybody can start a business. Anyone can do this. You have a story to tell. So I watched Brendan and I was like, wow, hmm, that sounds true. That landed with me. That sounded good to me. So now, what was my next step? Okay, well, the turning point for me was when I was having a conversation with my friend Joe, and I told him I was thinking about writing a book, and I've been kind of working on it. And Joe was like, "Hey, I know this guy named Austin. They have this thing called Epic Launch, you know, and what they do is they help people become best-selling authors." Really? Cool. So that was my tipping point. Well, how did I know it was working? I knew it was working once I got the book done. They helped me find an editor, da 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 da, and so on and so forth. And then, boom, book was number one. Okay. So was it hard? Well, there was some really hard parts, because, writing a book takes a lot of time and I never written one before. So now it just flows like that. You interview, they answer, and I'm giving you small little pieces of my story. Even the whole thing with the 7 gets. Well, how did I get the 7 gets? Well, I got the 7 gets because I was going broke. Because after I wrote the book, I didn't have any back end business, and I thought that you know I would be this huge big author because I was a bestseller. That was my thought process. Oh, I'm gonna be a bestseller, and I'm gonna make tons of money. But shout out to people in the world who realize that and realize that they need to have a back end business, and that the book is actually just the beginning of your business and not the business. Because trying to sell books $20 at a time don't work. And even if you get a book deal, that book advance is not going to be enough to feed you the rest of your life. No different than if a person gets a record deal and they get a record advance. So again, business, music, all the same thing. It's entertainment. So now, well, when did it click for you? Well, it clicked for me when I started listening to Donald Miller, and I started following Alan Weiss, and I started following all of these other people that were teaching me how to be consultative. Jay Abraham, teaching me how to be consultative. And at that point, I'm going broke, and all I got is this cell phone and some internet. So again, I took the cell phone, the internet, and my priceless information. I started going Facebook Live, and boom, guess what? I was talking about stuff that people needed answers to, and all of a sudden they wanted to do business with me. It was literally that simple. But I spent tons of time knowing the business and learning the business and knowing what to say. And I had a compelling story because I was going broke. But in the process of going broke, here's the thing that I learned. So now that's taken us all the way to being able to create the 7 gets because those are all the steps that I went through. I went through getting attention. Got a ton of attention for being a best-selling author. But I didn't understand opt-in, and list building. So once the attention went away, I didn't know what to do. But what I learned, coming back and doing the Facebook Lives, not boosting ads, because most people boost ads because they don't know what to say, but not boosting ads, but just simply talking about stuff that, my customers needed to know, stuff that I'd gone through that I thought was valuable to people who were going down the same road I was going down. And at that time, I didn't know anything about SEO, don't even know if SEMrush existed, don't know any of that stuff. But there was somebody watching who I didn't know, who knew someone that I know, but because it was a topic they'd been searching, it popped up in their feeds. And because it was digital marketing for women and she was a woman and she needed digital marketing help, she reached out. Boom, we did business. And in weeks, all these things that I've been studying and learning started making her money. And somewhere down the line, she met a guy that I didn't know, who didn't know me, and she referred him to me. And boom, one day I'm going through my inbox, and there he is. Even though it was months later, he still needed the help. I gave him the help, and boom, off we went, making more money. So again, I'm learning each of these steps along the way. You know, I started out as an author, but I went to school way back in the day with the idea of being a marketing person. So God brought me full circle. You know, so with that being said, now all of these things that I've learned from leading, all of these things that I've learned from managing and training, I'm starting to realize that most people don't know because you've never run a team of 30 people. You've never been a top performer. Even if you had a team of 30 people where you're number one, you know, I've been number one. I've been number two, number three, number four consistently for years. And that takes a different kind of skill set than somebody who just runs a team. So I realized that there are all these things that entrepreneurs don't know. So now I started to create a business off those things. But then I had to get a sale because I knew the information, but I didn't know how to get sales because that's why I was going broke. Didn't know how to get sales, you know. And then when I finally did learn how to get sales, away from having a company structure. That is, I knew how to get sales, obviously working for a company, but on my own, get people to buy from me. Um, then I got to the point where I realized that, man, one sale wasn't good. I made a guy 20 grand. He gave me $100. I never saw him again. Got nothing but love for him though. But hey, he took his 20 grand and, ran. And now I got $100, but I still got to figure out how to feed myself. So I had to learn pricing. I had to learn how to keep the sales coming. I had to learn how to continue to do business with someone over a period of time so that I continue to see a benefit from it, which helped me get the other steps. And then I realized through testimonials that were unsolicited in the beginning that people were just happy with my work and just shouting me out like, "Hey man, shout out to my business coach. He is a beast. Shout out, to my marketing guru. He helped us, you know, niche down and figure out our voice and close in our webinars." So then all this stuff started to come together, and somewhere along the way, somebody says that if you're really going to be great at this, you have to document your processes and then you package them and you sell the process. So eventually, this 7 gets that you got is going to be on sale, but you're getting it now for free. Okay. So again, you know, I'm learning new things and I'm sharing with you the new things that I'm learning. But if you do what I did, you'll get the same result because it has absolutely nothing to do with you being good or bad as a human being. It has everything to do with you doing the right things for your business. And the right thing for your business right now is to take those questions, send them in an email, sit down with the client, and get the benefit of a testimonial that works. Because once you get the benefit of a testimonial that works, then you could put it in YouTube form. You could turn it into a podcast. Got a client out there right now. We did something called Students for Stars, and he took some of his top students. Hey man, he gave them some shine. He gave them a little bit of airtime. You know, but here's the cool thing about it. Not only did they draw new customers, hell, people that they knew now knew him. People that they knew now wanted to do business with him. People that they knew now wanted to give him money. You know? And he jumped into the algorithm. So now people who didn't know him or the person that he was highlighting have a positive view of him. And he's now able to benefit from that as well. So again, this is about building, something that is going to allow you to be a better mom, better dad, better parent, better daughter, son, better spouse, to go to bed at night knowing that nobody's going to take your car, go to bed at night knowing that payroll is going to be met, go to bed at night knowing that there's money in your accounts and that there's money going into your accounts while you're sleeping, and to know that you're not going to be embarrassed, that you're not going to be ashamed, that you're not going to be called out or found out because your public persona is actually better than your finances. And at some point, because inflation is caught up or incidents have happened, that it's going to take you from that status in life that you spent so much time cultivating. You know, we don't want to lose a house. We don't want to lose a car. We don't want to put ourselves in a situation where we don't have health insurance. We don't want to put ourselves in a situation where we can't take care of our families. And now it becomes an embarrassment. It becomes highly stressful. Which, and I'm going to end on this, which is why, as a business owner, you need to continually talk about not only better, faster, easier, but with less stress. So, with that being said, this your business big bro, Sadon Long, aka the most dangerous man in marketing. And please, man, go over to growingrich.com. Click the Make Money Fast button so you can get a Make Money Fast call with me. It is not uncommon for people to start making money as soon as they get off that call. Also sign up for our next small group training, where you actually get to ask questions and we'll figure out some of the things that are going on and some of the reasons why you're not able to get the results that you want, and then I'll help you get them. So again, with that being said, this your business big boy, this your business big bro, Sadon Long, aka the most dangerous man in marketing. Have a great day. Enjoy your Saturday. I'm out.